Today officially kicks off the first day of mule deer season, and actually the first big run of my western hunts, which then roll into whitetails, which become a long season. But I am really excited about this hunt. I drew the tag. We're in northern Nevada, right on the Oregon border. I've never been in this unit before. It's complete do-it-yourself. I've got a couple buddies out here. They have some antelope tags. They're gonna help put some glass on these sage flats and go up in the mountains with me. Maybe we can dig one up. But my strategy to get started, I'm gonna climb to the top of that peak right there. All I wanna do is try to inventory deer, find where they're moving, just locate something. And then maybe I'll get lucky, maybe I find a hit lister, maybe I can put a stalk on it. I don't know. Typically it takes 4 or 5 days, sometimes a week, before you figure out the deer, where they're living in these various pockets. So my guess is today is about ruling out an area, then I go climb another peak, roll out another area, and eventually over a week's time, dial in a deer that I can hunt, and hopefully it's gonna be something, you know, in that 170 class or better. Again, without having hunted this unit, I really don't know what the quality is. So I'm gonna start asking the farmers, trying to piece together this intel. And of course, I'm gonna spend a lot of time on onX, mapping out areas, looking for drainages. From hunting mule deer for the last 12, 15 years, I have an idea what I'm looking for from a habitat perspective. And all I gotta do is just keep grinding it out until I discover that deer that I wanna chase. So today's day one of a very long 10-day mule deer hunt. Beautiful sunset tonight. This morning it was really slow. We were focusing down in the bottoms where there's a bunch of alfalfa fields that kind of transition into these big hills. And we got on onX and started looking and mapping the area out and thought, well, we got to go high and look in some of these folds. But as you can see here, it doesn't look like a lot of cover, but all these little folds have a lot of grass and are holding a lot of deer. We found 3 bucks so far, a couple good frame deer, big backs. Don't know if they're shooters yet. The sun's dropping. The wind isn't right for a stalk anyway. So we're gonna back out tonight, come back in at first light, try to find something on some glass and maybe put a stalk in the morning. Okay, let's go do it. Pieces of the puzzle come together. This is a killer spot to glass.
It's an awesome spot.
Even more excited about what you're going to cook for breakfast.
Yeah, let's dip it in Crisco.
Well, this mule deer hunt is turning out to be like most mule deer hunts, and that means it's going to be a grind. Brand new unit for me. I'm up close to the Oregon border actually. Most of the times I'm more towards the center of the state, where I've spent over a decade chasing mule deer. So we run around these hay fields out here, and there's a lot of deer down in the hay fields. We haven't seen any really big bucks. We did stalk one decent buck, passed on him. We spent the last 2 days going up in the mountains, and now the deer density is petering off. We've seen maybe 12 total deer in the last couple days up in the mountains. But there is a sage flat. We ran into 2 bachelor groups of bucks. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're apart, and there may be 1 or 2 possible shooters. So tonight we're gonna try to get a closer look, put them to bed. I don't think I'm gonna try to push in too hard. I don't wanna make a play on them just yet, because I wanna figure out what their pattern is and whether they're absolutely worth my time pursuing. That lead buck isn't too bad. It's taken us several days, but we finally found some bucks worth setting up on. This group has 10 to 12 bucks in it. We saw them last night, we saw them again this morning, put them to bed. But what typically happens is this wind's gonna pivot around, it's gonna come out of the south, it's gonna run down the draw. And these bucks, I think, are gonna come across that wind, and there's a cattle fence that they're gonna have to cross to hit this drainage. So tonight, I'm gonna approach from the east, and I'm gonna slip into that yellow grass and set up there, and then just be flexible and hopefully catch them jumping the fence. There's enough deer I should be able to get in there early enough to post up and then just kind of slide with them. So a lot of eyeballs, but I think it's our best chance so far. We're down to the wire. The last day, it's really been a process of elimination. Looking across this habitat, finding which is the most suitable for these mule deer, and eliminating where we don't find the deer. Most of our time has been spent on these mountains glassing the sage flat the last 3 days. Chess has gone off to his antelope hunt. I've been blind except for myself glassing. There's a bachelor group here in the bottom, and I'm just hoping I pick the right drainage tonight and hopefully catch them moving north, heading to the ag fields. Right here is kind of my kill window right now. About 2.5 hours left of the season. Nice, easy shot. You got this. Got him. I hit him a little low, maybe a little back, but he was hard. Cornering to me. He actually surprised me. He got up behind me. I don't know how he didn't win me. 65 yards. But he's hurt. There's no doubt about that. I'm just gonna back out. I'm gonna come back in the morning. I mean, he just bedded right there.